15 wickets fell on the opening day of the LV County Championship match between two of this season's strugglers, Glamorgan and Kent, at the Swalec Stadium in Cardiff. Glamorgan batted first after winning the toss in South Wales, and the way the game started, there were few clues as to how difficult batting would be as the day wore on, as Gareth Rees and Will Bragg made a decent enough start against the new ball in taking the total to 31 after the first 14 overs. But then the wickets started to fall at regular intervals once that Darren Stevens came on and bowled Rees off a slightly weak defensive shot. Bragg soon gave Stevens his second wicket as the batsman nicked off on 22 at 46 for 2. And it was 3 for Stevens in his first 5 overs, with Chris Cook very well held one-handed by Ben Harmison, one of a number of slip fieldsmen. Charlie Schreck then persuaded Murray Goodwin to cut him to Sam Northeast to leave with the home side on 73 for 4. At least Jim Allenby had reason to celebrate, even though he too wasn't in for a long time. He moved past 1,000 runs in this championship season, a wonderful effort given that he's also taken 19 championship wickets and claimed 23 catches, mostly in the slips. He'd also taken the total into 3 figures here when he was held off an inside edge off Mark Davis for 17. The only man all day who really looked comfortable for any length of time with a bat in his hands was Ben Wright, who produced the innings of the day in some warm September sunshine. He put on 29 with Allenby before dominating a 25-run stand with Mark Wallace, who may have questioned his own decision to bat first, as scoring runs on this surface was generally not a very easy thing to do. These boundaries came off successive deliveries from Callum Haggart. It was a 9-ball over from the bowler, but the last delivery saw Wallace pull to Harmison after making only 6. That brought in debutant Rhodri Smith, who's been representing Scotland in one-day cricket this summer. His maiden first-class innings brought him only a single run, and he then edged Haggart behind. Wright was in danger of running out of partners, but he found some good support from Dean Kosker, with these two taking the total past 150. Wright, who's had something of an up-and-down summer, was on the up here, as he cut the ball for a couple to get to his 50 from the 91st ball he'd faced. From those, he'd found the boundary 5 times. He was out soon afterwards, however, as Adam Riley came on to trap him leg before wicket. 2 balls later, Riley had Michael Hogan taken by Stevens at slip, while Stevens himself then trapped Michael Reed in front in his next over, as Glamorgan were all out for 158, Stevens the pick of the bowlers with figures of 4 for 34 from 15 overs. Kent had the final session of the day to make inroads into that total, but they lost 4 early wickets in reply, unusually all 4 of them being bowled, the first being Northeast to the 4th ball of the reply. Hogan has been picking up wickets like that with his induckers all summer long, and he soon did the same to Rob Key, the latest to find the big Aussie too hot to handle. While he's been taking wickets for fun all year, this was a first ever one in the first-class game for Smith, and it came with his very first ball to get rid of Brendan Nash. They say aim for the top of off, and that's exactly what Smith did, with what was just about a perfect delivery. Harmison's stumps were then disturbed via the inside edge by Reed, as Kent found themselves on 38 for 4, and that 158 all out was starting to look like a decent effort. None of the batsmen out had managed to make it into double figures, but thankfully for the visitors, both Daniel Bell-Drummond and Stevens did. Bell-Drummond played very well in difficult circumstances and under some pressure. He showed a maturity beyond his 20 years as he began to recover his side's position somewhat. He would have been pleased to have someone with the experience of Stevens at the other end. He was having a good day with both bat and ball, and he would have loved to have seen the day out in partnership with Bell-Drummond. They put on 56 together, but with 15 minutes of the day remaining, Stevens gave Hogan his 58th wicket of the championship campaign with an edge to Cook. Stevens departed with 29 runs to his name. Bell-Drummond, however, survived until the close to move on to 41 and take his side to 102 for 5. That leaves Kent 56 runs behind, and a meaningful first innings advantage is by no means guaranteed for them. They have more hard work to do on the second morning.